While there is still no word on a cure for the virus, government officials report the virus is not airborne, but can be transferred through contact with another virus. The virus seems to be making people
Hello everybody, it's Mike the Baldadonis, and today is Thursday, which means it's
Conspiracy Theories Thursday
with Gary from the gym.
Bummer.
What's happening, buddy?
Mike, how's it going?
Good, thanks.
So, I thought I'd do something about the Human Genome Project. And that would entail like people who send away for 23&Me or MyHeritage or Ancestry to learn about their genetics or their family history or where they come from.
Can I intercept that for 1 second?
Yeah.
Are you talking about this? Ancestry.com?
Oh, you got one. Yeah.
I got this for Christmas. My mother gave me this for Christmas.
Right.
And she said have fun with it and see what your background is.
So this is great.
Yes.
It's a feel-good thing.
Yep.
I notice a lot of people give it away for Christmas. I've seen the commercials on TV. Hey, why don't you get your a relative or somebody that and find out your DNA? You know, it's good. We're fun-loving Americans, trusting. We, you know, so why not share the gift of knowing your human genome?
Well, there you go.
Okay, so the Human Genome Project. It's a global long-term research effort to identify and estimate 300,000 genes in human DNA and to figure out the sequence of chemical bases that make up the human DNA. Findings are being collected in databases that researchers share. The goals were to complete the accurate sequence of about 3 billion DNA base pairs that make up the human genome and to find all of the estimated 20,000 to 25,000 human genes. This was an international project worldwide, and it began in 1990. Right now, they take all the DNA of every child that's born, and like you and I were older, they didn't do the collections back then. In fact, when I was in grammar school, Mr. Watson, James Watson, discovered the double helix structure of DNA. So that was a big thing back then. So things have progressed a lot through our electronic microscopes and what have you. So what I'm getting at is that when you and I send away our DNA to find out who we are, we're actually entering into the database. Okay? So some of the ways to collect DNA, you showed us Ancestry, 23&Me, MyHeritage, and the 23&Me, the company collects not only genetic and personal information from customers who order DNA tests, but also data about other behavior that 23&Me captures through the use of cookies and through its smartphone app. Many companies, such as those from the pharmaceutical industry, insurance, as well as law enforcement, have an interest in such databases. Now, we've seen that with there was a serial killer in California last year in 2017, and somehow his brother had the DNA test, and they used that DNA, I guess from the crime scene or something, and they asked if they could use the database, and they found the killer. So, you know, it's an attribute in one way.
Yep.
You know, now, you know, if you have DNA at a scene, or crime scene or whatever, and now you go to this database, you may find the guy that committed the problem, or the human that committed the crime through DNA. You see, so this is a good way to solve crimes. Think about it. The rights to use customers' data is also sold to pharmaceutical and biotechnology companies in use in their research. So there you go. We're going to find out later. We're going to read the privacy rights, or what rights we're going to forfeit when we give our money and our DNA to these genetic companies. Okay. So what was I going to do here? So in 2018, which is last year, it came out in Time magazine that the first creation of a genetic baby was created using genetics through, you know, they were changing the DNA to get certain attributes of the baby. Okay, so what's some of the promotions that these genetic companies promote to you that you might like to do? There's a few. There's a DNA paternity test, profiles parents if you want to find a parent of an adopted kid or something, or a relative. Genetic testing to find out what your genetics are. Genealogical test, DNA test. It's a specific location of a person's genome. Genetic health risks. Learn how your genetics can influence the risk of certain diseases to find out if you're you have a prone to a certain disease like Alzheimer's or cancer, or what are some other diseases that people have? But anyway, it looks that way. Ancestry, where your DNA, in Ancestry, you discover where your DNA is from 1,000 plus regions of the world and more. So, you know, you may be from a few different continents through your blood DNA. Or you give a sample of your saliva. It's amazing they can get the DNA from that. So anyway, or carrier status, if you want to have if you're starting a family and find out if you are carrying a certain inherited condition, you know, you might not. You might want to know if you have an offspring, if it's going to have a certain attribute that's not, you know, that's tough to carry a child. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, so those are some of the positive attributes that you get. But what are you doing? You're still giving that DNA, your personal information. So, about DNA. So, the governments have started using biometric identification with no cards or papers needed. Countries like India and the United Arab Emirates are leading the way with their citizen biometric data. Your DNA is going to be your ID number. One thing that should be most sacred to everyone is now being put on the internet and handed over to governments as quickly as possible, uploading to the so-called cloud. Free for everyone and anyone to hack, steal, use, and destroy. More specifically, make it simple and easier for the elite to get rid of you. Do not give your DNA away for free, as you do with every app that comes by and every new technology gadget. How easily are you giving it away to the elites? The so-called genealogy websites and the mobile apps they control. The elite genetically modify your food, which in turn alters and turns off and kills your DNA completely. They poison the water to kill and destroy your DNA over and over again. They poison the air to destroy your DNA through stratospheric air aerosol injection. They have calcified your pineal gland through the tap water in your home. And the GMOs that you consume daily, all that happens to humans on a daily basis. On top of that, designer diseases and viruses have been manufactured for decades to target specific DNA codes. Diseases and viruses such as Ebola, Zika, bird flu, swine flu. This has been going on since the Black Plague. Engineered nanoparticles data suggests that 3 particle types induce different degrees of DNA damage. Of the 3 particle types tested exposed to zinc oxide, nanoparticles may cause the most significant DNA damage. Frequencies have been altered and forced on us through music, television, telephones, computers, various frequency emitting towers and machines, Wi-Fi routers, cell phones, cordless phones, baby monitors, electric blankets, alarm clocks. All these devices are damaging to your DNA. Not only this damage is passed down to our children. We are surrounded by electromagnetic frequencies, cell towers, transformers, CERN, and HARPS. Your DNA and frequency. These frequencies are purposely disruptive to your DNA. Damage to DNA causes health problems, increased likelihood of a miscarriage. Other effects of frequency attacks are aggravated allergies, disturbed sleep, night sweats, heart palpitations, muscles and nerve pain. Radio frequencies have effects such as headaches, irritability, memory problems, ability not to concentrate, bedwetting in children. These things happen because DNA damage, cell death, genetic dissolution, the frequencies and chemtrails, the poison, genetically poisoned food and water these have done on us by the elite are not regulated or given in doses according to each person's limits. These things are forced on you and everyone's tolerance is different. Meanwhile, the U.S. government is working on a law allowing companies to strong-arm their employees, into taking genetic tests and then sharing that data with unregulated third parties and their employer. Employees that resist could face penalties of thousands of dollars. But this is old news. It was approved in the Senate December 13, 2008, signed by President Bush. April 24, 2008. For the reason of national security, President Bush ensured that the law to gather the DNA of all citizens. Records are kept in a genetic bio banks and considered government property. The DNA taken at birth from every citizen is essentially owned by the government, and every citizen becomes a potential subject of the government-sponsored genetic research. For many generations now, birth certificates, bank accounts, and the like have been logged by the government, and anything out of the U.S. government is copied and saved by the Vatican as well, which is mind-boggling to me. Welcome to the New World Order, of course. DNA programs are offered as screening requirements to detect treatable illnesses. It makes it sound nicer when it's said that way. So yeah, people, right, so. Like I said, so a group of researchers in University of Washington have shown that it is possible to encode malicious software into physical strands of DNA. But government knows they have been doing it for years. This is not a new plan. DNA manipulation and genetic editing is nothing new. Now, if you take the test, one thing that's amazing is that you give the data over, all these people, and they collect it. And what do you have? Do you have Rh negative? Is that important? Do you have a DNA that I could use because I need an organ? You know, is it something that I can research and find somebody that has an organ that I could use because I need one? You know, you're putting yourself out there. The only way to get your information from these genetic companies is through the websites. So they have your ID through your websites, so they know all your information there. You know, it's all, everything's tied in. So, anyway, some people report to have the Rh negative blood type, where there are people who have been reported alien abductions and interactions of many people have the Rh negative blood type. They claim sometimes that the Rh negative blood is an alien in origin. I'm just throwing it out there, you know. Some believe Rh negative blood is simply a mutation that came about some unknown time in our evolution, but as strange as it sounds, others have speculated at the possibility that it may have come from alien species that interbreed with humans or engineered us in some way, producing a hybrid bloodline. Now, I've seen and heard talk of this on the History Channel. They do talk about this back in the day, and the Egyptians, and they show all the hieroglyphics and stuff, so they speculated back then. So could we be doing that now in 2018, 2019? You know, humans are amazing. They just keep striving to find new things. But anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up. So if you send your DNA in, you know, is there something there? Do they want to know who's got Rh negative? You know? And breaking news in a newspaper, August of 2014, breaking news, mixing human DNA with animal DNA. So there you go. In 2808, the GINA HR 493 bill, it's Congress and the President passed this. This is the Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act. And what it is that they can't use your DNA. The law states that the employers can't use your DNA genetics against you for work hirings or getting rid of you, or you can't, for insurance purposes, they can't use your genetics against you, you know, if you show some kind of disease or something, you know. So Congress did vote on something of that nature. Anyway. Bioweapons have been used to, this is what I'm getting at with the conspiracy. So you've given out the DNA, there's DNA, and bioweapons have been used to subdue and depopulate and torture populations through history, brought to you by your elite. In 2016, 150 scientists from all over the world gathered behind closed doors in a secret meeting. They discussed gathering DNA from newborns without parental knowledge in order to use it to create DNA that did not consist of any natural DNA. This practice is called CRISPR. Have you ever heard of CRISPR before? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, this is where they create artificial DNA with real DNA to create different structures or beings. Ancestry websites offer DNA testing so they can save and learn your DNA. China and many other countries collecting biometric information from millions of people whom they deem potential threats among them. They have a national DNA database. China does data mining, DNA mining, and is increasing social credit score system. Did you ever hear of that?
Yeah, I saw that the other day.
Okay, so this is all getting tied in here. Anyway, DNA-specific bioweapons. There's an investigative journalist. Her name's Janet Fallon. She wrote a book called Exile, and she talks about how you can create a specific disease towards certain DNA. Rockefeller stated, it's easier to kill 1 million people than it is to control 1 million people. Figure that one out. Ebola, a minister there in Africa claims the U.S. scientists created race-based bioweapons. Hendrikus Luce, the patent 6488617. A specific digital frequency can be custom designed to be sent to the end user of Hulu to produce a specific physical event. All that is needed for the computer to design this frequency is a sample of the victim's DNA. Okay, so again, just tying in, you got your cell phone number or your website number. So you know that you're at that computer. They got your DNA because you've done the 23&Me or MyHeritage, and that's how you communicate to these companies. These electromagnetic fields are capable of mind control programming of specific individuals. It is even possible to cause physical illness by this method, including flu symptoms, heart attacks, or strokes. So I just wanted to bring that out. we're giving away our secret information, our persons, and and we just don't know where it's going or what they're doing with it.
So everybody, send in your kit.
Yeah, exactly.
Ancestry.com.
No, because we are naive. We just, man, here you go, take me.
Yep.
So I just bring this out to point out that, yeah, we're doing this in a feel-good thing, but these people have been at it since the 50s, the 30s, the 40s, biohacking, since World War II. You know, Project Clover was a Project Paperclip. A lot of German scientists come over to America and they did all this research, and that's what they were doing back then, you know. So this is just an extension of all that.
All right, so you want to open this up and see what it looks like?
Yeah, sure.
All right, guys, so we opened up the test. There was no warning.
No warning, no privacy rights, nothing saying that, you know, we're using this DNA for anything. So we're going to go on the website and see what the website has to say. I mean, you'd think there'd be some privacy rights, so maybe it's on the website.
All right.
Okay.
All right, guys, so until the next video, Baldadonis out.